Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Birmingham. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are today, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. We welcome you today to our Interfaith Sunday, and today I'm wearing my Interfaith stole created by Susan Barrow, and I just wanted to show you all of the symbols on it. Thank you, Susan, for this representation. As always, if you have technical difficulties with our virtual church connections today or throughout the week, please call our church office to let us know so we can help. To all who are here this morning, welcome home.
If you would like to participate or comment on our service, especially during the Circle of Lights, please use the chat feature on YouTube. We invite you along the way to comment on your participation. You can tell us when you're lighting your chalice, when you're singing along, and share your joys and concerns when the time comes. We also invite you to send virtual hugs and waves to one another, using parentheses around someone's name. After church today, we invite you into our Zoom room for coffee hour, small groups, and meetings. Please continue to watch your email for opportunities to connect with our community during this physical hiatus. And if you are not on our list, please contact Reverend Julie. The prelude prepares us for worship. The Persian poet Rumi challenges us. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. And we come from rich heritages of liturgy and pomp. We come from burning legacies of angry gods and threats of hellfire. We come just as we are. We come with exuberant and joyful hearts, eager to witness to others. We come bereft of the goodness of life, wondering, hesitant. We come just as we are. We come in the bloom of youth, ready to explore new truths. We come ready to sit apart from our children and be nourished for an hour. We come with gray in our hair and experiences to share. We come just as we are. We come to the place we never knew before was home. We come to the place that has been home for most of our lives. We come just as we are to join our siblings as members of one family in this beloved home, our hands and hearts outstretched. Come, yet again, come. If you have a chalice with you at home, please light it now and type "lighting my chalice" into the chat feature. In the mystery of life about us, there is light. It gives us a place to be, to grow, to rejoice together. It opens the pathways to love. In this place of friendship, there is freedom. Let the light we kindle go before us, strong in hope, wide in goodwill, inviting the day to come. Please join with me in the affirmation found on your order of service and in the chat. Join me during the blue italicized words. Inside this clay jug, there are canyons and pine mountains and the maker of canyons and pine mountains. All 7 oceans are inside and hundreds of millions of stars. The acid that tests gold is there, and the one who judges jewels. And the music from the strings no one touches, and the source of all water. If you want the truth, I will tell you the truth. Friend, listen. The God whom I love is inside. Let us join together in singing the hymn found in your order of service. If you'd like, type "singing together" in the chat.
Love makes a bridge from heart to heart and hand to hand. Love finds a way when laws are blind and freedom bend. Love breaks the walls of language, gender, class, and age. Love gives us wings to slip the bars of every cage. Love lifts the hopes that force and fear have beaten down. Love breaks the chains and gives us strength to stand our ground.
Our church is supported by those who call our church home and by those who support the efforts of our church to change the world for the better. We share our cash plate every Sunday with organizations whose work reflects UU values to care for marginalized persons, advocate for real and systemic change, defend our environment, and promote justice and equity for all. This month's offering will be used to help members and friends of UUCB who are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Please be generous as we are helping many with weekly food pantry deliveries. During this time of social distancing and online worship, please know that church expenses continue. Therefore, we very much appreciate your continuing to pay your pledge or offer your donation by either mailing a check to the church office or by using PayPal or Venmo. Our Venmo account is at UUCBHAM. Please designate whether your offering is for UUCB or if you want it shared directly with those in need during the pandemic. Thank you for your generous support of our church and our Share the Plate recipient. May we give in love and in hope.
Using the chat feature in YouTube, by speaking it aloud, or by hearing it in your heart, please give voice to what is on your heart today. Today, we celebrate with Artemis Hill and Amanda Lee, who both received extraordinarily good news in their careers this week. We also lift up Jill Combs, who had emergency surgery this week. Please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Finally, we lift up Helen Rivas and the family and friends of our beloved Chuck Jeffries, who passed away last Monday. We take a moment to extinguish our chalice, remembering the light that has left with him. We light our chalice anew, renewed to the vision of justice and hope that Chuck would be wanting us to focus on today. We look forward to gathering in celebration of his life in the future. Please keep Helen and the family in your thoughts and prayers this week and extend your love to them. We light these final candles for any other joys or sorrows among us today, and all of the thoughts that you have shared with us on YouTube. Please keep one another in your hearts and minds as we go forth this week in love. Please take a moment to hear a spoken meditation followed by a moment of silence. Today's meditation is by Jan Taddo. Beloved children of the oneness of many names, you who cover the land in numbers greater than the stars, I petition you, I pray to you, because you are the fruit of God's promise to the world, because each of you holds a piece of the truth of all that is, because the vision of beloved community needs each one of you. And this is what I pray, showing loving kindness for one another. Use wisely the unique gifts of your humanity, your free will, imagination, creativity, compassion, your knowledge, power of understanding, and awareness, all that is an image of the highest good. See the beauty in your cousin's eye, the wisdom in your sibling's smile. Listen for the truth which is unspoken in each heart. Hold one another with tenderness and allow love to transcend fear. Fear that too often darkens your thoughts and poisons your heart. Come together, followers of Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. Peace be upon them all. Embrace the children and followers of all prophets who call us toward peace, all the seekers and people of goodwill. Adore all that emerges from the mystery of life. Treasure one another. Call forth wholeness for your fellow creatures. Protect and renew the sustenance for life, the earth, the air, the water. Hold the fire with gentleness. Use it wisely for growth and goodness. Come together from the deserts, the mountains, the wetlands, and the shores. Lift the veil of indifference. Learn to understand one another's plight and share in the beauty, wonder, awe, and joy of life. Love mercy and kindness and walk humbly with one another and with all creation. Love your neighbors as you love yourself. Give to others the full measure of your goodness, so they will give unto you the same. As you honor the covenant of your traditions, may you also covenant with all people of goodwill, a covenant of love, compassion, humility, generosity, gratitude, and celebration. May it always be so. Peace, salam, shalom. Blessed be. Amen. Let us join together in singing the hymn found in your order of service and on your screen. If you'd like, type "singing together" in the chat. Will the children please come forward? Hello, friends. How are you this week? I hope you are well. Today's Time for All Ages is an active one. We've been doing a lot of sitting and staring at screens at home. So today is going to be a little bit of a break. We're going to do a scavenger hunt, and these are the rules. No running, be very careful, and be sure to put away anything you get out so that your parents or grandparents do not stress. So as I invite you to go find something, run get it and bring it back. Save these items until religious education later so you can show them during religious education time. All right, here we go. Go find something with a circle on it. Go. Great job. Now, I want you to find something with a triangle on it. Excellent work. Your last item to find is something that includes a star. Go find a star now. Stellar work. I wish I could see all of the things that you have gathered, and I hope that you'll take a photo and send it to me or put it on our Facebook page so we can see what you've collected. Today's lesson is all about symbols and how geometric shapes, which you've learned about since pre-kindergarten, are an important part of everyday life. They are found in everything. Circles, triangles, squares, ovals, stars, rectangles. They are prevalent in so many parts of our lives. And I challenge you this week for our mindfulness lesson to look for the shapes in your life. Look for the shapes when you go on nature walks. There are shapes in the flowers and in the trees and in all elements of nature. There are shapes everywhere we look, in our homes as well. I invite you to be mindful this week and look for all of the wonderful many shapes in your life today. Let us sing our song together.
One, each person is worthwhile, to be kind in all you do. 3, we help each other learn. 4, and search for what is true. 5, all people get a vote. 6, build a just and peaceful world. 7, we take care of the earth. That will bring us back to me and you too.
Our reading for today is by Turna Hamida Tilly Gallardo and is titled, Each of Us is a Door to Allah, or God. Ramadan is often my favorite time of year as a Muslim. I appreciate the space it offers to turn inward in a meaningful way, to actively remember that we are spirit-robed in flesh, as well as the opportunities to renew my engagement with Quran and to connect with community. As Walt Whitman exclaims, each of us is a door to Allah. Connecting with ourselves, beyond ego, beyond attachment to our stories, can be a powerful journey with and to Allah. When I say our stories, I do not mean the meaningful narrative of our experiences is not important. I mean that there is the essence of who we are underneath or beyond that. My understanding of to know your Lord, know yourself, has me believe that the path to Allah is a journey to my essence, and that my spirit can reflect any of the 99 qualities of Allah. As Walt Whitman exclaims, I contain multitudes. This has taught me to treat myself with mercy, with patience, to offer myself tenderness, and also unvarnished honesty in accepting both my faults and my gifts. May this Ramadan enrich and increase your nearness to Allah via the inward road to your beautiful heart. Thank you for that powerful reading. One of the fascinating bits about living with toddlers is their obsessions. Our older child has been obsessed with construction, superhero girls, and most recently, World of Warcraft. Our younger child, now 19 months old, is obsessed with shapes in a way our older child never was. His favorite shape is the star, and my theory is because he thinks it is somehow connected to the name of his adored big brother, Stark, by the sound. Once, Stark was wearing Captain America shorts, and Ezio ran across the driveway, made his astonished face, and screamed, pointing at the star. Life is pretty exciting when the world is so full of shapes, and every day our lives are filled with hearing excited squeals for every circle, star, triangle, and square that Ezio sees. People often ask me about my sermon writing process, how I choose sermon topics, how I decide what to say and how to say it, when I write, etc. Many people assume I choose my sermons out of a gigantic mythical sermon resource. I write my sermons every week. I've tried in the past to reuse sermons, but often my sermons are so tied to the specific social climate at the time and the people who hear it that I have found it nearly impossible to reuse sermons. I certainly hope that I will never have reason to reuse any of these pandemic sermons. My sermons are often inspired by everything around me, by the conversations with church folks throughout the week, books read, shows watched, classes taken, news heard, nature inspired. And for the last 2 weeks, this notion of the omnipresence of geometric shapes, especially related to our spiritual natures, has really struck a chord. We sometimes talk about what is universal among all people, and geometric shapes and the importance we place on them is a universal human trait. We want to bring order to chaos, and this is one of the many ways we do that. Now, of course, being opinionated humans, we often have semi-universal symbols, but always the exceptions make the rule. Consider this symbol. There are few exceptions, but a red hexagon is interpreted the same way by most countries. When it comes to spiritual symbols, the nuance is often lost unless you are a member of that particular religious community. Simple geometric shapes become complex theological statements about the divine, about our place in the world, and about how we interact in the world. Jonathan Quinton, a sacred geometry practitioner, writes this: "There is profound order to the universe that stands independent of chaos, space, and time. This order is in the form of pure mathematical principles and can only be known to us through geometry. We ourselves are a part of this divine order. We are both a drop in the ocean as well as the ocean in a drop. We are a microcosmic reflection of the macrocosm and are encoded with all of the information of the universe. Yet we only use a fraction of our full ability. Consider the Star of David, loaded with so much imagery for Jewish folks and non-Jewish folks alike. And yet, at a base level, it is two triangles intertwined with one another. But they aren't just two triangles. These points represent many aspects of their faith and may change depending on who you ask within Judaism. Philosopher Franz Rosenzweig explained his theory in Star of Redemption, which he wrote on postcards during World War I. Rosenzweig described two interlocking triangles, the corners of one representing creation, revelation, and redemption, the corners of the other representing man, the world, and God. The symbolism of the Star of David is actually quite modern. It emerged as a symbol after Hitler co-opted it for his atrocities. Consider our own denominational symbol, the chalice. Our new symbol has incorporated the symbolism of the old, removing the geometric shape of the circles. Those two circles were not there for looks. They represent two denominations who merged to become our tradition today, the Unitarians and the Universalists. Our denominational forebears are now represented by the two U's hidden in the new chalice logo. Time in our culture is very linear. Most people see a definite beginning and an end, even if that means the Big Bang all the way to permanent climate devastation. The circle is the visual structure of time in many world faith traditions, a symbol of the cycle of life, the principle of what goes around comes around. The idea that our actions have consequences and there is opportunity for potential restoration. Consider the Dharma wheel, the circular symbol of Buddhism, designed to teach and remember the virtues of the Eightfold Path in Buddhism, those behaviors which led to enlightenment and freedom from attachment. The circle is also found in the Taoist yin-yang, an ancient Chinese cosmological symbol representing how seemingly opposite or contrary forces may actually be complementary, interconnected, and interdependent in the natural world, and how they may give rise to each other as they interrelate to one another, according to John Bellamy. One of Ralph Waldo Emerson's lesser-known essays was titled Circles. Emerson noted the prevalence of circles in nature, according to Barry Andrews, leading Emerson to conclude that the circle is the highest emblem in the cipher of the world. The circle also provides an analogy for human thought and action. Every thought and action can be outdone. As Emerson writes, our life is an apprenticeship to the truth, that around every circle another can be drawn, that there is no end in nature, but every end is a beginning, that there is always another dawn risen on the mid-noon, and under every deep a lower deep opens. Emerson's connections to other religious traditions is quite clear in his writings about circles. Jonathan Quinton, the sacred geometry practitioner mentioned earlier, said this about circles: the shapes, patterns, and forms that emerge from the circle and sphere are keys that can unlock our potential and awaken us to superconsciousness and the interconnectivity of all things. Triangles and circles are only two of the many shapes we can find in nature, symbols of math repurposed by other humans to reflect deeper meanings in our world. For Muslims, symbolism is very important, and their creativity in sharing symbolism and creating Islamic art and architecture without violating their prohibitions against idols is a microcosm of the ways they have shown their devotion to Allah and resilience against oppression. While not as central to their faith as other religious symbols are for others, the crescent moon and star, once a symbol of the Ottoman Empire, has been loosely adapted to represent Islam and their adherence to the lunar calendar. More central to their beliefs are the beautiful calligraphy of the Quran, which sometimes takes the shape of a common object to represent the story shared, such as a tear or a snake, in the story of Moses turning his staff into a snake. Another star often found among Islamic art and architecture is the 8-sided star, which represents the 8 gates of heaven. Other patterns will use 99 features to represent the 99 qualities of Allah. Check out these photos of Islamic architecture and the beauty of the geometric shapes found within. In honor of Ramadan, beginning this week for our Muslim friends and neighbors, I began reading Imam Ahmad Inchazi's book, Cloud Miles, a remarkable journey of mercy, peace, and purpose. It is the memoir of my friend's life up to this point, and the way he is able to find the blessings and humor and joy among unspeakable tragedy are lessons we all need to hear. I hope to bring him to Birmingham for a book signing in the future. Inchazi was born in a refugee camp in Lebanon after his parents fled Palestine after the conflict. He lived in Oklahoma by the time of the Murrah bombing, which acknowledged its 25th anniversary last Sunday. He was in the United States during 9/11. I know you can imagine all of the experiences he had during those difficult times, but the details in his work are the important ones. In these world-changing moments, he experienced such mind-boggling oppression and microaggressions, such as the Christian phalangists who invaded his refugee camp, slaughtering over 1,800 people of all ages, marking their victory with crosses written by the blood of their victims on buildings. And yet, he defines Christians by the loving acts of his teacher, Ms. Rama, who cared for him and taught him with the love of Jesus. Ms. Rama, a consecrated Catholic layperson, taught young Ahmad the love and peace of Christianity. Ahmad was an integral part of creating Oklahoma City's interfaith community. And may his ministry continue to grow and thrive as he cares for and educates others on the compassion of interfaith connection and the impact of working together in community. In considering symbols and their importance, we must also consider how these symbols have been used to commit atrocities, and how meaning for one group is not necessarily meaning for all. Also, as in the symbolism of the circle, there is a chance for renewal, reframing, reconciliation. Our thoughts and prayers go out to our Muslim friends and neighbors during this holy month of Ramadan, because, like us, their ways of breaking the fast and gathering in community have adapted to our challenging circumstances right now. Geometric shapes, so elementary in one sense, have been layered with meaning throughout time to become symbols of hope and belonging to so many religious traditions. I challenge you this week to look for those symbols in nature and in your world, whether nestled in a flower or created by a human or another animal. Our recognition of these natural phenomena are another mindfulness exercise as we focus on the beauty contained in the golden ratio, Fibonacci's spiral, and so many others. Look for the beauty in our world. Look for the shapes and symbols. Consider their meaning in your life. Go forth, mindful of ourselves in this moment, grounded in the knowledge of who we are, where we belong, and in anticipation of gathering together again. I look forward to seeing you again. Amen.
Please join us in our closing hymn found in your order of service.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being.
Never has it been more true than now. We extinguish this flame, but the sparks within us remain alight. From each of us in our supposed solitude, the signals buzz and hum, sparkling through space one to another, connecting us invisibly, but palpably. We are one, and from every window, our light shines.
Our closing words today are by Reverend Darcy Roque. There is too much hardship in this world to not find joy every day. There is too much injustice in this world to not right the balance every day. There is too much pain in this world to not heal every day. Each of us ministers to a weary world. Let us go forth now and do that which calls us to make this world more loving, more compassionate, and more filled with the grace of divine presence every day. May you feel loved and in the heart of our community until we are joyfully reunited in person. See you soon.